Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about how to start an art channel on YouTube with natural ink artist Dylan Sara. So some of you might be thinking, "Oh, wait, I signed up to a personal finance channel," and yes, you did. You were not wrong about that. But there've been some changes you might not be aware of yet with regards to what YouTubers can and cannot say regarding personal finance. And so I've made the decision to just kind of take a little bit of a step away from that for the time being, just until things clear. And from now on, I'm going to be talking to fellow YouTubers about their journeys on YouTube. And because I can't think of anything more wholesome, my very first guest in this kind of new way of doing things is going to be my beautiful big brother, Dylan Sara. And here he is. Welcome,
Hello.
Dylan.
Thank you for having me, my beautiful little sister, Claire Sara.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being my first guest. It's so awesome. And
I'm honored.
we have Stuart here.
Good morning, Stuart.
Who says good morning. And actually, that reminds me, I would love to know where everyone is watching from. So pop in the comments when you come in, where you're watching from. And yeah, we're just pretty much gonna get cracking, talking to Dylan about his YouTube channel. So really, if any questions come up for people throughout this, make sure you pop them in the live stream and we'll get around to answering all of that stuff. But the first thing to get the ball rolling, I would love to just know from you, Dylan, what has inspired you? Dylan's just recently passed 16,000 followers on Instagram, which is a pretty massive achievement. So wondering, with that kind of success on Instagram, what was your inspiration to start a YouTube channel, apart from being hassled by me to do it?
Part of the cool thing about YouTube, I guess, is that you can have long format stuff on there. And I get the sense that once you posted stuff on YouTube, it's like visible for a couple of days in people's feeds. And then it may never get seen again unless someone's really interested in your work and they scroll through and look at everything. And hi, Nina from Adelaide. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Stuart. So YouTube, I also did a bunch of live streams when I was in 2020 with the Sketchy Art School. I taught a couple of classes there and I was invited to do live streaming. And I remember then Jordan was like, "Oh, and if you would like to set up your own YouTube channel," and I was like, I could have a YouTube channel. So that was kind of the seed in 2020. And I think I posted my first video then and didn't do anything for a couple of years. So it's kind of been in the back of my mind since then that, I could actually be doing this for myself. So I was doing a live stream once every week for about half a year for the Sketchy Art School channel. And with your encouragement, because you were really getting into it and you're so excited, contagiously excited about YouTube. And I thought that would be pretty cool to since I'm creating so much content anyway, recording lessons and putting a lot of stuff up on Instagram, I thought it would make sense to take what I'm doing in Instagram and repurpose it or make unique stuff just for the YouTube world as well. And I guess that's it basically.
Yeah, awesome. That's so good. So if anyone has any questions that come up around like Dylan's art or around YouTube and like either of our experiences so far on YouTube, pop them in the live chat and we can throw them on the screen and get around to answering them. Hi, Angela. But we have got a bunch of questions that have come through on Instagram and on Facebook that we'll get started with. And then, as anything comes to mind, pop it in and we'll do our best to answer it and it'll be fantastic. So this one is a very nice, very wholesome one with us here together. as what is Dylan's earliest art memory and earliest memory as a brother?
I find my early memories are quite commingled with photos, and my there's a photo of us. That's cute. Me
That
as
is
a
cute.
Transformer Optimus Prime, I think, and Claire just being gorgeous. So my earliest art memory, if it, yeah, I guess it kind of counts, is drawing all over my face with mum's lipstick. I think that was maybe that, and then I ran away and hid. I don't know if you've got a photo of that for us to see.
A photo
But,
of you running away and hide. Oh no, you with the makeup on.
Yeah, I had mum's lipstick all over my face, and I knew I shouldn't, so I went away and hid. And then mum came and found me and thought it was adorable and took a photo. So, so I guess that's art. And we would do these drawings as we were learning English at school, and we have a journal where we would like write a few words, and I would usually write maybe 3 words and then draw a bunch of stuff. So I had one once there was a tiger, and I drew a tiger, and one I really liked was once there were devils, and I drew 3 devils, 3 little red critters with horns. And this was like when I was 5 years old or something. So that was a nice one. And being a brother, so cute. You're so cute, Claire.
You're so cute.
Yeah, just hanging out, doing stuff together. We had this tree house, playing in the sprinkler in the garden. Grew up in Whyalla in South Australia, which is a pretty hot and dry place. That's great. So yeah, all good feelings about being brother. I don't have one clear, distinct earliest memory. I guess it was just all pervading being a sibling.
Do you remember this good stage?
The awkward stage.
The awkward stage.
Oh, look at us.
Look at that. What an icon. What a fashion, couple of absolute fashion icons there.
Not quite as cute as the photos you were just showing.
But a different kind of cute, I would say.
A different kind. I still like wearing shorts. Yeah, the beard.
And then this happened.
Yeah, this is when Claire came to visit Europe. So I've been living in Europe I first came to Europe in 2004. And since then I've spent 2 years back in Australia. So been in Europe for a long time. And yeah, it was so cool when Claire came to visit. We don't see a lot of each other live. And the last time was 4 years ago. But it's always good connecting, hanging out. We spend more time online hanging out these days, which is nice that we're able to.
We do spend a lot of time online now, which is so awesome. We'll jump back into some of the questions here, Dylan, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
This one is quite an interesting one. How do you stay consistent with all of the things and life happenings? I've merged a couple of questions if anyone notices that your question has been altered a little bit because they were a little bit similar. So how do you stay consistent with all of the things and life happenings, managing your work, life, and family commitments?
That's a good question. Having kids has made the time available to do things other than having kids has made me work much more effectively. So the hours spent on Facebook before having kids, falling down rabbit holes and whatever would happen, that doesn't happen anymore. So I'm a lot more focused because it's like, okay, the kids are at kindergarten, the kids are gone, or it's like, oh, the kids are in bed. It's like, okay, now it's time to do something. And I found my, there's a little Holly. I found my, for a long time, I was like, what do I actually want to do as an artist? What do I want to say? I don't know. And then I just realized it's pretty clear that I really love people and I love drawing people. And once I had the clarity of what I want to do, and I wasn't sitting around like, what am I going to draw? What am I going to paint? It was just like, it was all about people and about community and about my daily life, the people around me. And so once I had that kind of clear that that's what I really like drawing, and I really like connecting to people, I like drawing portraits. And I had heard some people saying, oh, you can't just be a portrait artist. You've got to do concept art. You've got to do illustration. You've got to do these things. And I tried these things out for a while. But then once it became clear, like, this is actually what I really want to do, it's like effortless for me to do it. There's a lot of focus and commitment and dedication involved, and a lot of time that I spend doing it. But as I'm working on stuff that I love, then it's become a streamlined way to keep practicing, do what I like doing. And then while I'm drawing and creating things, these days it's pretty effortless to just have a tripod and camera set up and just film it. And then I instantly have like shareable content. And yeah, so I guess it's having the kids and family commitments and stuff that has made the time which is available, which has more and more become work. There were phases where I was had another half-time job that has become my full-time thing, full-time art and full-time parenting. So yeah, I guess making the most of the time that's available is important, because there's plenty of time just kind of sat watching kids in sandpits or standing around, and also beautiful things, not just boredom, but like teaching the kids to ride, just having a good time with the kids and being really present and being there with the kids, I think is really important. So I try not to be too much involved in my work stuff while I'm with the kids, but it's difficult. There's always things going on.
You've got a little bit of a fan club situation going on here, Dylan. Angela says you've done some great drawings. Karen Sara says gorgeous.
Oh, she would say that, wouldn't she?
She would. She loves it. And here's actually an original early work of Dylan's from the 4th of the 7th, 1988.
I have no recollection of this. So I was 5 years old.
Can you confirm? I had a little bit of a poll going on Instagram. Can you confirm? I had wondered if it was a cat, a house, a portrait, or something else.
It's me.
I forget. Yeah,
it's me.
Clearly you.
I have no recollection of this, but looking at this, I'm like, it's got my hair.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, has it just got one giant boot? But then I noticed there's actually 2 legs. I think maybe there's like I have a rocket pack coming out of my butt, and I'm like, I'm flying, because I used to like Astro Boy. So maybe it's either Astro Boy or it's me. I think
the fact that Mum's put Dylan in quotes there kind of implies that it definitely is you. I've got another one here, which we know what it is because you've written what it is. Me and Dad. And the likeness is honestly like, it's beautiful.
And you can see the family resemblance.
Yeah, it's a very clear family resemblance. And that hair is Dad's hair from then. Like that massive helmet, amazing helmet. And here's just another, like, things have evolved a little bit here. Wow. This is, I think, like the first year of high school or something.
Okay. So
that one's 2001, right?
2001. No, Stuart. The first year of high school, I finished high school in 2000. So this was not like my first work I did after leaving high school.
This is what you submitted to get into university.
Yeah. No, this is how I applied to high school. No, I didn't actually. I studied architecture. But that's cool to see. Claire, being in Australia, where we grew up, has access to all these things that I have no recollection of.
I've inherited like all of this original artwork that I'm definitely going to keep for a really long time. And then one day I'll sell it when it's like incredibly valuable. Actually, if anyone wants to put a bid in for any of these original works that you've seen here today. So we've got the this one, Me and Dad. That one's quite beautiful. And of course the self-portrait. They're going to be very, very, very expensive though. So I'll jump back into it. What do you think has been the key to your rather fast growth on YouTube? This is a cool question.
Yeah, this is cool. So I at Claire's encouragement, I started posting I tried to post once a week on YouTube for a while last year, and it reads like I thought every Friday I would post a video, and some of them were time lapses. So it's similar to the stuff I've been posting in my reels on YouTube. And I have, people make beautiful, edited, really cool things with lots of different angles, and I don't have the time to be doing that. So I just set up my phone, it records my workspace, it's a time lapse, and then I can post it. I really don't put any effort into editing unless I'm like compressing it even more because it's too long. And I was like, well, I'm filming so many things, I'm sharing so many reels on Instagram, and then I recorded some that were like widescreen, which I thought would be nice on the big screen. Instead of just watching it in 30 seconds on your phone, you can actually watch the portrait be created in maybe a 3-minute time lapse or something where I talk about it as well. So I thought I'd do this weekly thing, and then I got on Instagram and I was like, hey, I'm doing YouTube, come and subscribe to my channel. And then a bunch of people did. And at some stage, there was just so much going on. I was like, I can't like edit stuff to put on YouTube every week because I've just got other things to do. I've got commissions, I've got my regular stuff that I always do, the sketch sessions. And it was just like, I didn't have time to keep that weekly thing going. And then you, Claire Sara, in January were like, have you thought about doing YouTube Shorts? And if anyone here doesn't know what YouTube Shorts are, they're reels on YouTube. So YouTube is really wonderful for long format content, like interviews, videos, tutorials, all sorts of stuff. But they also have a mobile device friendly format called Shorts. And it's reels, just like TikTok, reels, and Shorts. They're basically the same thing. And so Claire was like, oh, you're posting so much, you should be putting all of that on YouTube. And so in January with 30 Faces, 30 Days, I was posting a reel every day. And I was like, okay, I'll just put those on YouTube as well. Not much extra effort, which is important. So I would just upload the footage that I had for a reel. I'd upload it on YouTube, put comment in, and basically copy and paste. So once I had my text set up, be like, this is a calligraphy pen portrait done for 30 Faces, 30 Days. And I had the text and I would copy paste that into each one that I uploaded, or a pencil portrait, just change the wording. Or if it was something special, then maybe it would have some different wording in there. But it was really important to economize my time. It's like I can't, like that's something that had been stopping me before. I was like, I can't commit to doing another platform because I'm like putting so much into Instagram. But realizing that Shorts and TikTok are pretty much the same as Reels was like, it makes total sense to repurpose what I'm already doing, put it on YouTube, and potentially for a different audience. So that once I started doing that, so in January, after I started that, it was like every day I uploaded a short, which 15 seconds, you're only allowed to use 15 seconds of sound on YouTube. There's some licensing agreement. So I compressed my reels. I made them 15 seconds long, put a catchy song in, and the songs also work as hashtags. So if there's like trending songs, and some of the songs I'm like, I've never even heard this song before, but you know, it's got a beat, it's kind of groovy. So I would attach Rocco's Modern Life. I would put some catchy song, something cool, and then it's potentially, because my goal is like, this is not, I'm not just going to have like my moody, dark music or the things that I listen to. I'm just going to make it something that people will like. I don't even know this, but it's trending and I kind of like it if I listen to 15 seconds of it. So I use those, and I think the combination of watching a portrait come to life and having music, like, you know, music affects us at such a subconscious level. I think the combination of music and drawing and having this ready-made content of how a portrait is drawn, combining that with music, putting that on Shorts, and I was getting pretty consistent good views where I'd have like over 1,000 people would see the short. And then each time I posted, there'd be like a couple of people would subscribe to my channel. And that has really totally propelled the growth of my YouTube channel. So there was like some slow growth last year when I started posting these every Friday videos. It wasn't every Friday. But once I started repurposing the content I already had, that's when it really started growing. So I think yesterday, okay. So Stuart's had a channel since 2013 and has 2 subscribers, obviously doing something wrong. Tell us your, we can probably just click on your link and we'll see your channel. I'll subscribe to you, Stuart. Stuart
I will as well.
Stuart's awesome. Everyone go follow Stuart.
Everyone follow Stuart. Stuart, how often are you posting videos, Stuart? That is a question that I have for you. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so the thing, like, to have a channel, you've got to tell people about it, and having already put so much effort into Instagram and having a following on Instagram, I was able to say to my Instagram supporters, posted one in 2013. I look forward to seeing it.
I do too.
With no music.
It sounds so good.
Yeah.
I'm watching that. I'm watching that so many times, Stuart.
Yeah. So we'll go give Stuart some likes and subscribes for his 2013 video.
Perhaps we can encourage him with all of our likes from this and subscribes to continue posting videos.
And I'm sure that you've developed so much just in the time that I know you. You've been practicing so much, and if you upload stuff now, it's going to be really cool to kind of see, what's happened in that time. In black and white. Black and white is nice. So consistency was good. Like, I noticed when I was posting these shorts every day, it was like every day I was getting new followers. And then once 30 days, 30 Faces, 30 Days was finished, I was posting a bit less regularly. And sometimes there'd be over 1,000 views, and then I post something and I get like 6 views. So there's also this stuff of like the algorithms. So the way you present your content, sometimes it's really hard to tell. It's like, this was the favorite drawing I did all month and only 6 people saw it. Why did 2,600 people see this one, which I didn't even think was that awesome?
Yeah.
So it can be really hard. Don't take any of this stuff personally. The way your content is received, don't take it personally, because it's really out of your control as well. And so it's important to be consistent. And even if it's like, 2 people saw this, just keep doing it and keep telling people. It's like, you can check out my YouTube channel, and it doesn't have to be like in your face and like, if you're gonna keep following me, you've got to subscribe on YouTube. Maybe that works for some people, but I'm not like that. So it's just like, hey, maybe you'd like to subscribe on YouTube, and just do things the way it's natural and how it works for you. You don't have to be anyone else other than yourself. Like, you can be inspired if you're watching content and the stuff that you like. You can be like, they've got a really friendly, non-pushy way to communicate what they're doing. And because no one is obliged to do anything. No one has to comment, no one has to like. So you don't have to be afraid to say, maybe you could check out my stuff. There's definitely a kind of the potential for resistance. And I think earlier on my Instagramming as well, I was like, I don't know if I'm like posting too much. People might get bored of my stuff. They might think, Dylan's posting too much. But that was not very productive. And even if it's like, even if you feel like it could be better, and it probably will get better, I think it's important just to be posting it. And like, everyone who's watching comes along on the journey, and they're seeing, like, wow, you've developed, you're trying this new thing. And I think actually sharing the journey of development is a really cool thing. So it's not like, I've got to be really good before I start doing things, because when's that going to happen?
Yeah.
So just do it. Just post stuff, just share stuff, and make it easy. Don't make it too hard for yourself. If you put in a lot of effort, then there may be, you may see that in the kind of view time and how many people are subscribing and stuff. But just do it like chilled to get started, I think. And from little things, big things grow. So if you keep at it, then eventually, and maybe it takes years, but like a beautiful community can grow around the stuff that you're creating and putting out there, which I think is really cool. Community is a big part of it.
There's the amazing thing with YouTube that I think is kind of different to other social media platforms, is that like people could just like see one of your videos that potentially like pops off. Is that the right word?
Goes viral.
So yeah, like, you know, does very well.
Takes off.
Takes off. That's what I was looking for.
Julia has a good question. We'll get to later.
Awesome. Yeah, the like a video can take off and then your entire library is potentially going to be shown to that person. And so back when I had lots of videos on my channel, I now only have, I think, 4, which is very sweet. But I would see someone would come and see my new video, and then I would see that they had then binged heaps of my videos. So stuff that potentially only gets a few views in the beginning has the potential over time to pick up. And it's such
that's
a
something that doesn't happen
in that way.
Yeah, that doesn't happen on Instagram. Like I may have posted something 3 years ago that was really good, but since then I've got thousands more followers, and they may never see that thing that I posted back then, unless they go digging through my stuff. And that's different with YouTube, yeah, because you can, once they're interested and YouTube kind of notices, oh, they're into this stuff, then YouTube will show it to you, or it's more likely to show you more similar content. So yeah, that's a really cool potential on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see things popping up in your feed and go, oh, that's from 6 years ago. Yeah, cool.
Bye-bye, Angela.
Bye-bye, Angela.
Wow. Enjoy your mum's 91st birthday.
Oh, that's very exciting. Happy birthday
Awesome.
to your mum. Thank you so much for being here, Angela. It's been awesome. So this is a good question. Hi, Claire.
It is a good question.
Hello. Hi, Dylan. Do you like do the likes influence the content you publish?
Not anymore. No, I guess they never did. And that's the thing, like I was just saying about the posting something which I thought, hey, this is the coolest thing I've done all month. And then 6 people see it. It's like, huh? I think if you're, and advice I've heard from many different inspirational people is that you should be doing the stuff you want to do. And that's what I've decided to do. And some things get more likes. Like there are these things on Instagram at the end of the year, be like best 9 of the year. And then sometimes I see like what the algorithm, what Instagram kind of chose as the best 9. I'm like, really? And sometimes the things that get heaps of likes, I don't understand why. Why does that do better? So yeah, I'm not guided by the way people react to it, to the individual content. It's, you know, it's nice to get likes, but I think it was really helpful. There was like a phase, right? I don't know if it still is, that Instagram stopped showing the likes on a post. And I think that was really good, because I can remember like the early days and I'm like, I post something and I'm like, how's it doing? Are people seeing this? Are people liking it? And maybe I'm the only one doing that. But I don't do that so much anymore. But there definitely a phase where I was like, really invested in everything I posted and hoping that it's going to do well, hoping people are going to see it, hoping for, you know, those likes to get some validation. Am I doing the right thing? But it's not a good guiding star, I think. Do the stuff that you like doing, and then and let the likes follow. If you put out content that you really like yourself and are into and want to share, then I think that kind of build towards creating your own thing that people are going to find engaging and interesting.
Stuart apparently never does that, which is good. I might give a slightly different spin on this, and like, do the likes influence the content you publish? For me, in some ways, yes, because like once you have built up a big library, so I am starting again from a small library, but once you build up a big library of videos in your YouTube channel, you start to see, and it's not about oh, do I feel liked by the likes or liked by the views, but it's more about that's what the people who are subscribed to my channel or who YouTube is showing my videos to, they like this stuff. So then I have to go, okay, is that something that I am actually passionate? So I do still come back to, is that something I'm passionate about talking about, or the kind of video that I want to make? But like, you know, I'm not, I don't want to be sitting there going, oh, did I get likes? Did it get liked? Did I get views? But it does come into it a bit when you're planning what you're going to do next for your channel, to a certain extent. But, you know, I made a video that was just a coffee pot. It was a coffee pot and a song playing over a coffee pot, and it was great. It was a Johnny Cash song. But I was like, I'm not going to really do that. I'm not going to, even though that video did very well, I'm not going to keep on doing that. Like, you do need to talk about things that, and make videos about stuff that you enjoy, but you do also need to think about what your viewers care about as well. And sometimes the likes, seeing that does give you a bit of an indication of what people want to see. Ashley Trotter is here. That's a cool comment. One thing I find about your art, Dylan, is that every line in your art counts. What got you interested in art? I'm going to add these so we can see some of the beautiful line work that Ashley's talking about.
What got me interested in art, I think Dad being a photographer, the idea, there's a special way of seeing as a photographer, as an artist, as people, that we learn to focus and use this equipment we have for seeing and perceiving things. And Mum and Dad were definitely totally supportive of my artistic inclinations. So it was great to have parents that that were supportive of it. And for a long time, I thought, well, art was my favorite subject in high school. So I drew all through school. And a great story was that I stopped drawing at home, and Mum and Dad were like, why aren't you drawing? And I was like, oh, my teachers told me I shouldn't be drawing, because I would be drawing in class. And so Mum and Dad went to school and they're like, you don't tell our son not to draw. And they told me I should keep drawing and don't let people tell me not to. So that was great, because otherwise that could have been a abrupt end to a blossoming artistic life. So that was really cool to have Mum and Dad's support. And yeah, and then after high school, even though art was my favorite subject, I was like, oh, I don't want to be a starving artist, so I'm not going to do art. And then it was years later, traveling with very little money and doing a lot of creative stuff. I was actually building flutes at the time. I realized that I loved it, just being, I guess it was quite a creative, artistic, it was a different genre. It was, you know, it was music, and it was woodwork, building these flutes. But I had such an amazing time, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe it's not so bad to be a starving artist. But I wasn't starving. I've never been starving. And I think it's also realizing, getting rid of that mindset and being like, and it's also okay to be, you know, an artist who's doing well. And so there were this kind of things that had to shift in my awareness to keep me on track with that, or even find that and realize that, oh, art is actually the thing that makes most sense for me to do, because I've always been interested in art. But the decision to start getting good at art, that was first only happened when I was 28 years old. So for a long time I've been like, art is not a thing. It's not a career. It's not like something I can really focus on. It's just something I like. I like sketching. But then when I was 28 and had a bit of a crisis, then realized, okay, art is the thing I think makes most sense for me to do. And so that got me like reinterested, refocused on art. And now it's been 10 years that I've been really focused on getting better at drawing and making it my thing and figuring out a way to live with it and from it as well. And the thing about every line counts, I think it's similar to the efficiency also in social media, where I'm like, okay, how can I do this with minimal effort, but it's still going to be good? How can I repurpose this stuff, which I think is really important, because otherwise, you can spend all your time on social media. But you've got to be making stuff. And so with my limited amount of time having the kids, I'm like, okay, I've got to be more effective with the time that I do have. The stuff that I upload and I'm sharing also has to be efficient. I still put quite a lot of time and energy into doing it. It's not like it'll just happen by itself. But I don't want to use the time unnecessarily. So I think that's similar to the making every line count. It's like the stuff that I'm doing is this reductive process. There's so much potential. There are people doing amazing things, so much inspirational stuff. And it's like, oh, wow, look how good their stuff is. Look at their setup. That's so amazing. It's like, okay, but in my given parameters, I can't do all of that stuff. So I can do what I can do. And the way that I draw has also become a reductive process. It's like I see what I see, and how can I reduce that into a kind of a simple way that communicates what I'm trying to draw. So I think there's a kind of interesting connection between the way that I draw and the way I'm using my social media. Make it effective, make it work for you, make it fun. You've got to enjoy the process as well. So that was a really interesting question. I think that was good. Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Ashley, who has been friends with our parents for 1,000 years, which is very, very cool. Dylan, did you go to art school?
No,
I know the
did
answer
not
to
go
this.
to art school.
No.
I didn't go to art school. No.
But what classes did you take at Rebecca's Smart Art School?
So something I did do, it was not called Smart School then. Rebecca Gay, who's an amazing artist, her book is downstairs. So when I had my crisis, I'm 28, Saturn returns, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What do I actually want to do? And Kira, my amazing wife, was like, what's the coolest thing you could do? I'm like, fantasy illustration is the coolest thing I could do. I'm like, okay, so how do you do that? And then Kira found the illustration masterclass, which happens every year, or the last couple of years, I think it didn't happen, which is this incredible gathering of illustrators in Amherst, Massachusetts, in the States. And I was like, yeah, but it's in the States. It's so far away. And Kira's like, yeah, but if it's worth it, how about you do it? And you just go there. Whoa. So I was definitely like empowered by Kira in the beginning. I went to this week-long workshop, and it was a decision. I was like, am I going to go, because I had a Bachelor of Architectural Studies. And I thought, okay, should I do like a master's in illustration, or should I go to art school? And I decided not to, because I thought it would be a huge kind of time investment. And I was already 28, and I felt like I've got to kind of do something. And I didn't want to get back into studying. I want to keep learning, but not in that institutional way. And then found this workshop, the illustration masterclass, and learned so much there just in a week. And a lot of the people I met there, was just an amazing mix of people. The people teaching there are incredible. They're all really amazing artists and professional illustrators and fine artists. And in this 1 week, there were 100 participants and some people there that were already like well-established professional illustrators. And I'm just like, how do you even get good at drawing at that stage? But the people there are like, coming to the illustration masterclass is like doing a university degree in art. This is what they said. I don't know. I have nothing to compare it to. So I just learned so much in this week, just like, whoa. Because I had this idea, I draw things, and I had this really idea about how it could look really good, and I draw it and it doesn't look really good, and I don't know how to get it to that idea that would be really good. And just going and asking people and learning from people was like, okay, so who can do it really good? How do they do it? And learning from them, being inspired and learning. And this was amazing, the illustration masterclass. And after that, Rebecca sent out an email to everyone who had been to the illustration masterclass. And she was like, I'm going to take 6 mentorees, and you got to commit to it for half a year. And who wants to do it? And so it wasn't called the Smart School yet. That's what it's grown and developed into. There are a few teachers there. I don't know how many teachers there are at the moment, but in the beginning, it was this cozy little mentorship with Rebecca, and there were 6 of us. We would meet once a week. And Rebecca totally tailored it to what we needed. And she already knew our work from the illustration masterclass and kind of where we were at. And people in the mentorship were already like established professional artists. There was me, like, I haven't been to art school and I don't know how to draw and I just want to get better. And I love Mrs. Chugg.
That reminds me, this is actually some of my art. So I know how you feel going, oh, I don't know how to draw. That's that's Mrs. Chugg down there. So that's just an example of the sibling who's not as gifted at this kind of artwork.
But it's awesome. Just keep at it. And Claire has also been coming to my drawing sessions. I host weekly sketch sessions, and Claire's been coming to them too. So yeah, Rebecca's thing, there's now like really tailored. There are all these different teachers and you can learn different things. And it's like storytelling and portraiture with Greg Manchess. And I love Greg Manchess's work. And there are all these different things that have a specific direction that you can learn at the Smart School. So yeah, the answer to that is it wasn't the Smart School yet. It was a mentorship with Rebecca. But I learned so much, and anyone thinking about wanting to up their game, I reached a stage, like it was like the learning curve was like this, and I just learned so much. And then at some point it was like, okay, now I just need to make art. I felt like I did the mentorship for 1.5 years. So that was a 1.5 years of meeting almost every week. And I learned so much in that time. And at some point I was like, I don't feel like I can take any more in at the moment. Now is the time where I actually have to make art. So after 1.5 years, that connects to the last question. Instead of going to art school, I did a mentorship for 1.5 years with Rebecca Gay, and learned so much from her.
Awesome.
It costs quite a bit, but so does art school. And it's a really personal, direct connection and tailored instruction and guidance. So that was super, super helpful for me.
That's really wonderful. I remember when you were doing that, and it was just like you were just beaming all of the time.
Yeah.
Always with the beaming.
My work
this is a question more about more along the lines of YouTube. Do you have any tips for people who are just starting out? Well, actually, this is social media in general. Do you have any tips for people just starting out as an artist or just starting to market their art on social media?
I think some of it has already been addressed a bit, but post your work. And I had to kind of jump over my shadow and not feel like I'm like posting too much, or do people want to see this? Am I gonna like alienate people if I'm too active? Like the whole thing, social media is, for all of the beautiful relationships and connections and stuff, it is a big kind of advertising thing. So even if you're just posting like your lunch and your look today and all this stuff, it's like you're advertising yourself, and it's all everything that's shared in some way. Like I have my issues with advertising, but essentially that's what social media is. It's a tool, and you can use it on a personal, friendly level, or you can use it with your work. But don't be afraid to share your work. And if you have something that is on offer, if you have a YouTube channel you would like people to subscribe to, or you're selling prints, or you have a Patreon, which I do, don't be afraid to tell people about it. I think that's really important. And maybe no one will take your offer. And that happened to me as well. Like when I started with Patreon, I was like, this is it. Patreon's going to be it. I'm going to tell people, and then that's all I'm going to have to do anymore. And that's still the goal. If I can just do what I want to do and people support me and learn from me through my Patreon offering, that would be amazing. But I had all these ideas and I'm like, I was convinced of its greatness. I'm like, this is so cool. This is going to be the thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to send prints out to people every month. And people are just going to give me their money. And then it wasn't really like that. And not so many people joined as I had naively imagined. And you can take a hit like that, but then it's important to just keep going as well. So don't get too caught up in the idea of the outcome of what you're doing. It's important to be consistent, keep posting stuff, keep telling people what you're doing, make it clear what you're doing, and don't take it too hard if when you say, hey, I did a failed Kickstarter. And if you're like, hey, I've got a Kickstarter, I'm doing this thing, and it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. So don't take that kind of stuff too personally. Just keep going, and maybe one day I'll do a Kickstarter and it won't fail. And maybe you will too.
Speaking of your Patreon, there's actually a link in the description of this video for that of Dylan's. And where else can people find you, Dylan?
Instagram is the main one, and I've just since I can't remember what Dylan Sara draws on TikTok. So since I started posting YouTube shorts, I opened a TikTok account last year and posted 3 things and never did anything again. But then when I was like, if I'm posting YouTube shorts, I can be posting on TikTok as well. So I'm at Dylan Sara Draws on TikTok, and Instagram Dylan_Sara. Facebook, but I'm not really very active there. That's the thing as well. If you're on social media, choose where you put your energy. And if you can streamline things, like you're posting reels, shorts, and TikToks, do that. And I decided, I got off Facebook for a year because I felt like I was getting depressed and angry. So I was just like, no more Facebook. And I have consciously chose not to make Facebook my thing. I know there are people that have amazing success on Facebook, but that was like, okay, Facebook's not going to be my thing. I do have an account there, but basically what I post on Instagram gets posted on Facebook on my Dylan Sara art page as well. But I don't put any energy into Facebook. So you don't have to do everything at the same time, but if you have something that translates into different platforms, I think that's a really good tip as well, because then you can potentially be reaching 3 different audiences, and that can only help the growth of your content, what you produce, and your practice. And yeah, that's the thing.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, it's so good that you're focusing your energies on YouTube. And we'll probably start wrapping things up now, I reckon. That was a long half hour.
Yeah.
But an awesome half hour. And like a masterclass on YouTubing, especially like the YouTube short stuff. You're all over it, all bloody over it. Was that a
hang on? Anyone who wants to get into this YouTube stuff, there's a book, an audio book I listen to. There's another one that Claire has, and I have one that almost has the same name. And it's called, I listened to the audio book, YouTube Secrets and Instagram Hacks 2020. Maybe now there's an update. And Claire has one called YouTube Secrets. Yes. If you want a book.
Yeah, I'll put both of them links in the description of this video. They're not there right now, but they will be. Glenn says, very enjoyable. Oh, Glenn, thank you so much for being here. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, so I'll have all of Dylan's links are going to be there, all of his social links and his Patreon and all of that good stuff. A link to his YouTube channel that you should certainly subscribe to. And if you're interested in hearing more of these chats and learning about how to use and grow a YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you so much for joining me, Dylan, and everyone. Thank you for all of your lovely chatter in the live chatter. And
it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The pleasure to have you. Thank you, everyone. You're all a pack of bloody legends. Bye.
Bye.